It's just telling me to wait, and I don't know why.
Is Apple better?
Apple has a fantastic backup process called Time Machine, and you can go back depending on how you set it. It'll take a complete copy of your hard drive every 5 minutes if you want it to, and you can. I've had challenges over time, and just
Okay, we are starting.
okay.
Just one moment.
Talk later. Thank you.
Okay, we are live, and according to that, we are recording. Yahoo! These things kind of can make me like, oh dear. So welcome, welcome, welcome. We are so excited. Today is a launch of the Game Changers Volume 8, and this has been, what a journey it has been for so many of the authors, and for me, this is 7 out of the 8 of this volume I've published with Amazon. So that equates to about 160 authors. So it's a time to celebrate. And if you have your book, hold it up and show the world. Yeah. Awesome. Very cool. Today we're just going to talk about why it is, who we are. And so I would like to kind of go round table, and I'll start with you, Nicholas. Share your name, who you are, what you do in the world, and we'll go around circle like that.
Greetings, everyone. Greetings, everyone. Nicholas Harvey. I'm the principal and CEO of Nicholas Harvey Consulting. I'm known as the social impact coach, and the work that I do in the world is around helping leaders to create a welcoming workplace and world.
Awesome. Very cool. I'd like to learn more about that. And Jim?
My name is Jim Honestchuk, and I'm a business consultant for small and medium-sized businesses in high-growth markets. And I spend a lot of time with my clients, helping them grow their businesses.
Very good. Karen?
I'm Karen Bonina-Traj. I am a mental fitness and performance coach, and I do work with leaders, and I work with amateur athletes. My focus is on our overall happiness, well-being, and living our life purpose.
Beautiful. And you have my favorite color on, so that's my color. And Vicki, thank you.
Hi, I'm Vicki Nettling. I'm a speaker, trainer, coach, and host of the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast. And I am an author. This is my 6th compilation book in the last year and a half. So wow. I love writing compilation books, evidently, but so happy to be here.
Thank you. It's so wonderful to be able to get to meet you in this kind of one-on-one type of situation. And, you know, I work with a lot of authors, and for anybody that does have a podcast, I would love to be able to refer my authors over to you if you do take anybody. That would be really cool. So, Nicholas, why did you decide to participate in this big project? Even writing your own chapter when you're a busy person is kind of a lot of work. So what inspired you to say, yes, I want to participate in this?
Surely. In terms of my chapter, because of what's going on in our world, I think it is time. I think it's time for us to have a discussion about our common humanity, the common struggles that we have as human beings, because I believe that my chapter is representative of people who had to work, who had to overcome. They continue to strive, they continue to thrive even. And as we begin in the beginning, we talk about Still I Rise, and focusing on our common humanity, because I think we all want to show up and be our best authentic selves, being judged by the content of our character and going towards what is really authentic freedom for us. And so I believe that it's time. And again, focusing on our common humanity is something that can bring us together, which I believe we really need to do now.
Thank you. And thank you for what you do in the world. And, you know, I have a very huge variety of individuals. We're the melting pot in my family. And we have quite a variety of us. And you watch the things that are going on in your world, and it's concerning, especially when you watch your grandchildren going through really tough things, and you're thinking, how do I best support them? Because our world should not be this way for them. You know, what do we do? What do we do to make a difference? And we're game changers.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And I appreciate that so much that you mentioned about your children and grandchildren, right?
Right.
Because the idea of what type of world are we going to leave for them?
Right.
Mhm.
And I don't want my children to have to fight the battles that I fought and that my parents and other forebears have had to fight. And so that's where the focus is. And as I've said, I believe it's time.
Thank you. Thank you for what you do.
Okay, thank you.
Karen, how about for you?
I apologize. I have a cat.
Sorry. I have 2 dogs that are just as apt to start barking. So
Well, he loves Zoom, and so this is immediate. But anyway, so my chapter was why can't we just be happy? And it was really based on my childhood and the turmoil. And there's so many people that are living in stress and overwhelm and anxiety today that we don't need to go there. And I have the tools to turn that over. So I really worked hard on. I'm really got involved with Shirzad, with mental fitness, powerful tools that are so simple that people can really transform their inner being. Just we need to bring more peace and calm into this world as opposed to living in fear.
absolutely. Absolutely. And I see it, especially because in being in the publishing and people are sharing their stories out to the world, and it's a common thread. And even one of my authors, I met her for the first time yesterday. She flew in from Vancouver, Canada. And it was so much fun, but the conversation somehow, circled around to the things that she encountered as a child, which were not good. And it's a common thread. And it takes, for many of us, it takes a long time to get through all that. And those of us that can stand up and say, yes, I was there, but this is where I am now, and live in happiness and joy, because it has a ripple effect out on the world.
It does,
really,
yes.
yeah, thank you.
Thank
And
you.
Well, I teach how to overcome your fear of public speaking, but also there are a lot of people that are comfortable speaking, but they just really aren't that good at it. And so I try to help people to be more engaging, but it really kind of touches on what Nicholas and Karen just said, because I work with also the youth. And I, like Nicholas, want to try to leave the world better than it was for when I was growing up. I think that we sometimes forget that everything that we do is tied to being a good communicator. Everything. And it's not just, getting things that you want in life, but being able to share how you feel, how something impacted you, to be able to describe a beautiful sunrise or sunset. All of those things will afford us the opportunity to be able to grow and develop into somebody that lives a very happy life that Karen talked about. And, how can you write a book if you can't describe it? And so for me, the leadership that I teach on leading with your heart, your head, and your hands, and this being able to understand that it is just a conversation. Everything that we do, if we forget about trying to be perfect, trying to make everything outstandingly memorable, if I'm trying to say,
mhm.
and just understand that it is just a conversation, then we are so apt to be engaging and allow us to be vulnerable and allow us to touch people in their hearts, in their minds, in their souls. So for me, my goal now in this season chapter of my life is to make a difference as many places I can, so people understand how important their voice is.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm actually in a compilation book called Iconic Woman. And the name of my chapter is Let Your Soul Shine.
Yeah.
Just let your light shine out to the world. And even a smile can make a big difference, as far as how we're received and how we enjoy life, and what it does for another person. I have a habit of walking through the grocery store and looking people in the eye and smiling at them, and it's like they look like,
Yeah.
what? You know,
What's
you
wrong
know,
with her?
yeah, what's wrong with that lady? She's kind of crazy. Thank you. Thank you for what you do in the world. And Jim.
So, my life has been spent working with businesses that many have succeeded, some fail. I've had some that have succeeded well, very much, and others that have failed. And the stress and the risk that small business people and medium-sized business people take in their own lives in order to not only build a lifestyle and a life for their employees where they can thrive and expand and grow, but really to survive.
Yeah.
And I've learned that there are really a few dozen golden lessons that you don't learn at business school, or you don't get by training through a company where you might work. If you're running your own business, you need to do these things in order to grow. And particularly companies in high growth markets have these challenges, or who want to be in a high growth mode have these challenges that it takes too much time to learn by experience now. You need to know them in advance, especially in the business to business space. And so I really take seriously the role in helping these businesses grow so that they can get on and be happy, as Karen talks about in her book, or to be leaders, as Vicky focuses on, or very, very critical to the world, working on the human rights and self-actualization that Dr. Harvey works on. But that all starts, in my opinion, by having a successful business through which you can fund these things.
Right. Our businesses are really a true expression of who we are from the depths within. And if you were to spend all your time just watching the news, you would soon become like, this is a horrible world to live in.
Yes.
And I find myself just kind of like, if once in a rare while I see it, I'm thinking, man, I don't have a whole lot of good stuff to say, and we don't need to fill our minds with that. But when you realize, look at just the five of us sit on this screen today, and the work that each one of us do in our own special way, that we're taking out to the world. And I feel like there's millions of people that are that good in their heart, and they need to hear our messages, and they need to share their messages as well. Because the more of us that can hear that somebody else went through something that really tough, even in business, and they were able to overcome it, or for what you do, Nicholas, in bringing even communities together and working with the different cities and things like that, to know that you're making an impact and making a difference and changing even one place at a time to make a difference, and really upping the game for life for most of us. It's truly remarkable. So Vicki, as you lead in this world, what is your biggest hope or the biggest dream that you have as far as humanity and in itself, and participating in the Game Changer, which the name itself means a lot, you have shared your inspirational story. So what is your, maybe in just one big message out to the world that you would like for others to know?
I think that one of the messages that I always tell people, and it really flows nicely in both the leadership track that I do and the speaking track, is that your words matter, but how you say them matters more. And there was one of the youth things that I just did the other day. One of the other counselors that talks to the kids and the parents about mental health and succession and job planning and things, did an exercise where she had said the things that were said to her as her mom when she's a Puerto Rican from the Bronx. So the things her mom said to her growing up, and her dad said to her, and her teacher said to her, and her friends said to her, and she said to herself. And as she was doing all these things, she had somebody just squeeze out just a little teeny dab of toothpaste. And after she was finished, she asked the person, now put it back in the tube. You can't put it back in the tube. Your words that are said, and they can't be taken back. They stay with us. And a lot of the things that keep people from being great speakers, being fearful of speaking to crowds, is the things that were said to them that can't go back in that tube. So for my goal is to have students and adults all understand that your words matter, but how you say them matters more.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Karen.
Wow, that's a great segue to come off of that, Vicki. That's powerful because I agree with you. Our words matter, but our words to ourselves matters, and how we talk to ourselves in the scenario of how we were raised and how we were talked to as a child creates those inner critics and those saboteurs that lurk into our heart and our mind as we become an adult, and how that sabotages our success, it sabotages our relationships, our health, our well-being. And just the power as a child, and as I said in my story, I just wanted everybody to be happy. And happiness isn't this go around with this facade on our face. It's that inner joy that we carry in our hearts. And we can do that when we learn about our inner critic and how it's sabotaging us. If you ask yourself, would you talk to your child the way you talk, or would you even talk to your best friend the way we talk to ourselves?
Right.
And so we don't have to. So it's what we do in our heart, what we do to ourselves is what sabotages us. And we do have that right to have that inner peace and that happiness. And that will reflect on having healthier relationships, healthier communication, overall well-being. And, in athleticism and even in leaders will have better performance, peak performance.
Beautiful. Yes, it is those words. And I think we're always harder on ourselves than we are anybody else. And oftentimes there's trigger points, and it's a matter of paying attention to those triggers and watching for them so that we know that, I need to change my conversation with me. Yeah. All right. And Nicholas.
Imagine with me, if you will, being in spaces and environments where you're celebrated, validated, and appreciated just for who you are. It's often said that people don't quit their jobs, they quit their bosses.
It's true.
Leadership has the power and responsibility to create spaces where all can certainly feel welcome. And it has an impact, as Vicki and Karen have shared, about even how we speak to ourselves, because those words, they get into us. They create, they plant seeds, and oftentimes they take really deep roots. And so I believe that we really have an opportunity to create welcoming environments where all can show up, be their best authentic selves, be it in corporate, be it in athletics, be it in public service. And so that is my hope. And I pray that folks can receive this message as we strive towards ultimate freedom for us all.
Beautiful. Wow. Thank you. Very good. And for you, Jim.
I would say, in the same positive theme, that we are capable of far more than we imagine ourselves as being capable of doing. whether it's in our personal lives or in business or at school or in play. And it's very important to put oneself into situations regularly, even later in life, where you're challenged and you may fail, and not be afraid of failure, but to learn from it and repeatedly do that again and again, with a positive spirit, and in pursuit of abundance and expansion and growth and success, or whatever one's objectives might be. But to focus on doing more than you ever possibly imagined.
Beautiful. So I'm deeply grateful to each one of you, and for the work that you're doing in the world, for the courage to do that, because there are other choices we could have made in our lives, but we chose what we're doing in the world today. We are the game changers, and it's our stories and the way we speak, the way we share our stories, that will make that impact. And for those that are listening, we have in the chat there, where we post this video is playing, take the link and go read these chapters. Pay attention to the words that are being used to express the amazingness that each one of us are, and that you yourself are too. So pick up the copy of this book. I know each one of us have enjoyed. Yep, hold your copies up. This is really cool. But this is an amazing book that I have had the privilege of kind of helping bring together so that here we are, all sharing in our wisdom and making a difference in our world. And thank you to each one of you for being here today. Awesome.
Thank you, Becky.
Thank you, Becky.
Thank you.